noise. How is everybody doing today? Hope everyone's doing good. Once. All right, what's going on, everybody? How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing good. This is going to be my last stream before I'm off to Dubai. So I don't know who of y'all are going to Dubai, but hopefully if you guys are there, hit me up. Love to meet some of you guys. I'm really stoked. Yeah, it's going to be a fun trip. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little antsy because I obviously haven't left the country in almost 2 years. But yeah, getting excited for a little trip, little vacation, maybe work on a little bit of a tan. As you guys can see, I'm still pasty as ever. Yes, I'm feeling much better. Thank you. I know I was real sick for the last video. So definitely feeling better. But yeah, welcome back to another episode of Ethereum and Chill. I am Trader Mayne. We might have to, when I get back from the trip, talk about switching up the hours of the stream. I know a lot of Europeans want to tune in. I try and stream through the weekly close. That's generally the goal, is to be able to stream through the weekly close. But you know, we'll see if I can maybe do it on a better time or a better day, so you know, people on the other side of the world can also watch the stream. And I know other people are also streaming at the same time. I know Cold Blood Schiller does a stream. Ninja's doing a stream. So I know it's tough, but I appreciate all you guys as always who tune in and watch every week. As you know, I love doing these streams. So let's just get the bills paid here, as they say. So as usual, this stream is in partnership with Bybit. So shout out to the Bybit team. Right now, you can participate in the Bybit launch pool. So it started on the 28th of September and it's going till midnight UTC, October 13th. So you can stake BIT token within the BFI Center, and you can get some really high annualized yields, some of the highest in town. Tip the balance and get more bang for your crypto buck. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I've left all the information about BIT token and the Bybit launch pool in the link in the description. There's all the links with all the information you need. So if you want to check that out, you want to start staking some BIT token on Bybit, you can do that. Get yourself some of that sweet APY that we're all after. If you have any questions, obviously let me know. But let's get into the video. So obviously looking good, right? We've had a very bullish move here since our last stream. So just checking the dates here. The last stream we did was on the 26th, right? So we were trading, I'll go to the daily. We were trading right around here during the last stream. So if you've been following me for a while, I was one of the people who did post, this area of interest for support to see a move up. And obviously we've got that very nice reaction. The 3-day candle looks really strong. The daily candle, coming off that level, 3 white soldiers, as they want to say. We are coming up into some high time frame resistance, so you obviously want to be cautious and be aware, and this is something that I've posted about on Twitter, but you can't deny that this is a very nice looking weekly candle. So the question that we're going to have now is, where is this going to close? First of all, are we going to have, a daily swing failure pattern here, which will close in about 50 minutes? Where could this pull back to, and where do we want to see it hold to kind of maintain our bullish bias? Where would we potentially say, okay, this was a fake out, we're actually going lower? So we're going to cover all of that in today's stream. So we'll start with Bitcoin, then we'll move on to Ethereum. As usual, please save your altcoin requests for the end of the video, so don't just spam tags. I will get to them. But save them for the end of the video. When I say go, you can spam your tags, and then I will do my best to chart up as many of them as I can. And then obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to ask questions. Ideally, ask questions about what I'm talking about, and I'll try and get caught up with it. If you have questions in general, obviously leave them in the chat. You guys know I do my best and spend long periods of time interacting with you guys in the chat and responding to all your questions. That's half the fun, right? That's why I like doing these streams live as opposed to just, pre-recorded videos, is I like to actually be able to talk to you guys and go back and forth with you and answer some of your questions as they come up. So let's start with some kind of quick hindsight analysis. How did I catch this low? What was my reasoning? And then we can talk about, where do we think price is going from here? And any other questions that you guys may have, I will try and answer, and we'll just go from there. So this low, right, that I wanted to see us catch was based off of the 3-day order block here. So some of you might not have the 3-day chart because you don't have TradingView Premium. If you take trading seriously, if you want this to become something that you do full time, or even if it's just a side hustle, but you want to take it seriously, I highly, highly encourage you to upgrade your TradingView subscription. This is not sponsored by TradingView, but I do think that it is worth it to be able to have the extra chart templates, the custom time zones and things like that, or time frames, and things like that. You obviously don't need it to trade. It's not a must-have, but it is definitely nice to have, and it's the cost of doing business, right? If you guys spend $1,000 or whatever it is, a couple $100 a year to have an upgraded TradingView, I definitely think that's not a bad investment. To take your trading to the next level and just have access to all the tools and things that you would want. So crazy how the zones you got are all caught on the order blocks indicator I published. Interesting. This 3-day order block, right? So how do I identify order blocks? What are order blocks? I will no longer be answering questions about order blocks because I made an entire 20-minute video explaining exactly how to identify order blocks, what makes good order blocks, how do you find them, how do you actually use them to get in trades. It's on my YouTube channel. The video is titled Order Blocks. So if you have any questions about order blocks, I highly suggest you go and check that video out as opposed to just asking me questions, because I did that video for this exact reason. So if you got a question, I'll just refer you to that video. But the 3-day order block here is the one that we're focused on, right? This is the one where I said, okay, based on this move up here, we want to assume that this was, accumulation here. And it obviously was, right? Because we saw this move up. Now, they could have distributed this entire position here, right? And then this could go down. We don't know. We don't really care about that right now. All we know is this was accumulation. This was a big breakout, okay? It had to pull back at some point. And so if you've been following me for a while, we had talked about 53K, and this bearish weekly order block is an area where we could see the market potentially top. It's that macro fib, right? That macro fib and this bearish order block, we said, okay, this is where, if this is a lower high here, we think it occurs somewhere in here. Okay, and that's exactly what happened. It came right into the 6-2, just shy of the order block there. I think it was within, we're talking dollars here. What's the low on this candle? 52,960. What's the high here? 52,888. So it's like within $100 of hitting that, block there, and maybe it hit it on some other exchanges. But came right into the 6-2, rejected, right? So we talked about this being an area, right? This sweet spot being the area of interest for a potential top to form, right? We also discussed previously, and I was talking about this area back in June, a move up here and then potentially down, right? We got that rejection. We also talked about the fractal, right? The topping fractal, how this kind of looks like, this. And we had discussed, the 1, 2, 3 drives, break in market structure, the pullback, right? 1, 2, 3 drives, break in market structure, the pullback, and that short. Where is this fractal now breaking is this, right? Here we had the dump, and then we dumped further, and then obviously even further. Whereas here we dumped, and now we're finding support. And basically what I wanted to, kind of determine was, okay, if this is now a trend change, so we broke market structure here, but now we want to potentially shift the trend back to the upside on the high time frame, right? Well, where would that happen? And what would be the kind of levels of interest in terms of where we're looking for and where the higher low effectively could form, right? Because we broke market structure here, right? We broke out of this key SR level here. So on our first pullback, we want to be a bull at a potential SR flip. So where did my thesis come for the level, right? Well, I think this is pretty clear SR to anyone here on the chart or anyone here in the chat that's watching, right? This looks like pretty clear SR to me, right? We've kind of got this range high here, right? Resistance, 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 consolidated under, and then once we broke, we had a major rally. So when we return to this level, right, we want to potentially be bullish here. You want to be a bull at support. We broke market structure to the upside. We want to be a bull at support. That's why we were not hugely bearish into this area, right? Where do key order blocks form? Our key order blocks form near key SR levels, right? So there's your key SR. Where's your order block? The down candle before the up move that broke market structure to the upside. We mark out the candle and we came right into it. Boom, consolidated and launched, right? So that is the type of reaction we want to see. Now I can zoom in on the low time frame and I can show you, okay, what was the actual entry trigger? Why did we want to get long here, right? We came to the level, we tagged it. There's your swing failure pattern. Here's bullish market structure right here, right? You need to start, if you're not getting bullish into this kind of falling wedge breakout into the retest of the SFP, you're absolutely getting long once we start putting in bullish market structure here. So if you didn't long down here, you need to be longing in this consolidation, okay? But we talked about this shit in the last stream, and then obviously we broke out, right? And now we've even continued to move even higher. So it looks good. Everything is acting as it should on the high time frame. The weekly candle looks strong. We got a very nice reaction from that order block, very nice reaction from SR. Now the question is, okay, where does this thing have to go to confirm that it's bullish and it wants to go higher? And how far can this pull back and still maintain that bullish momentum? And then obviously, where would be our levels of invalidation? Because you have to have a plan for both scenarios. So I always talk about this, right? Trading is very simple. If and then, okay? This is how you need to structure your trading. And this is anyone who knows what they're doing, anyone who's worth their salt, has a plan for both directions. As soon as someone comments on one of my tweets or on someone else's tweet with, because someone will say, okay, if it does this, we do this, and if it does this, we do this. And then there's always at least one fucking smooth-brained ape who goes, oh, hurdy-dirty-dir, could go up or down. I instantly will either block, mute, or just never take anything that person says seriously again. Because that is just an asinine statement, and that tells me that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because this is what trading is. If this happens, then my plan is this. If this happens, then my plan is that. So that is in essence how I structure all of my ideas. I have a key high time frame area that I'm looking to do business at. And if certain conditions are met, then I will execute a trade. Okay? If they are not met, then I won't execute a trade. Or if they're met in the other way, right? If we broke down below here, I'd absolutely be looking to short this thing down into here, right? So that is how you have to think about your trading. And the problem is people are a little bit too fixated on, well, what if it doesn't bounce from my level? How do you know it's going to? You don't, right? What we're doing is we're using technical analysis, indicators, whatever the fuck you want to use to make an educated guess. You're making a risk-adjusted, educated guess. It's a gamble, effectively, but if you know what you're doing from a TA perspective and you manage your risk, right, it's a gamble that A, you know the risk going into it, and B, you might potentially have some edge, right? You might have some edge. So that's all we're doing. I didn't know it was going to bounce here for sure. I made a bet that it was going to. I knew how much I would lose if I was wrong, and I had reasons to think it might bounce from there, but I didn't know for sure. It could have just done this, right? And then guess what? On Twitter, you would have had people be like, haha, told you it was a deviation, silly bulls, right? And then since it bounced, you have, haha, silly bears. How could you be bearish into support? The problem is you don't actually know until it happens. Right? And when it works out in people's favor, they act as if they knew with 100% certainty. But I'm pretty confident that a lot of people who longed, here, they said, okay, I'm going to long this level. They were shitting bricks when we came back down to it, right? A lot of people puke their position because that's how the markets move, right? They're going to say, okay, you got the idea right, but we're not just going to tag your level and then moon. We're going to make it painful for you. We're going to tag your level, then we're going to tag it again and again. And then we're going to grind down into it. We're going to make it look like absolute shit. And then it's going to go. Because what is happening here psychologically, people are getting fudded out of their positions. They're puking. They're freaking out, right? And people are going to say, oh, it's not going to bounce. They're shorting into support while the makers of the market who are actually going to move the market up, right? They're going to be accumulating their longs here. So it's never going to be, there's never any free rides. It's never easy, right? And you never know until it actually happens. But they make it difficult. That's part of the grind. That's part of the game, right? It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And it's easy in hindsight, right? After we had this, 20% bounce off support, of course, all the bulls are euphoric, being like, I fucking told you so, me included. I'm on there, I'm fucking retweeting old tweets of mine where I called it, right? But at the end of the day, unless you took a trade here, shut the fuck up. But it's you don't know until it happens. You make a plan, you execute the plan, and then you live with the result, right? And so if your plan was to bid here and you didn't bid, right, and then it bounced, you didn't call shit. You might have called it on Twitter, but unless you actually stepped in, put your money on the line, right, you didn't do shit. So try to ignore the noise, from me included, because I'm just as guilty. I'm a clout whore. I'm on there trying to farm that clout. I shouldn't say I'm a whore. I'm a clout farmer. I'm on there planting clout seeds, and I'm fucking tilling the fields. I'm fucking watering the crops, and I am... I'm going to collect that clout when it grows, when it works, because, part of what I do is I'm fucking, a person posting shit on Twitter for hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, it's part of my brand, I guess. But at the end of the day, what matters to you and what should really matter to you is, did you have a plan for when price came to this level? And did you execute on that plan? And are you comfortable living with the results, right or wrong, right? If you were bearish here, you're not a fucking idiot, as much as Twitter might tell you. You just got the fucking trade wrong, right? What's the next trade? Move on. Wipe it from your mind. It's gone. Short-term memory, right? Eliminate it. So we had reasons to look for bullishness here, okay? We had the key SR. We had our bullish break in market structure out of this range. We had our 3-day order block. We have the 50% fib. So we had a bunch of reasons to want to get long here. Go watch my last video if you want to see what the long triggers were. because I covered those in my last stream, okay? So now let's talk about where we're at and what our plan is from here in terms of, okay, are we gonna go much higher? Are we making new all-time highs? Are the bears completely fucked, as Rookie would say? Are there still hope for the poor, you know, just absolutely decrepit and broke? There's a word that starts with a D for poor that Gainsey always uses, and I can't remember. It's slipping my mind. We've got a guy with my profile picture and the account name BitBoy in the chat, so I'm gonna have you guys all roast him. And we've had someone rename their account to Smooth Brained Ape. That's funny. Okay, so we had all the reasons why we wanted to get long there, right? But at the end of the day, it's a plan. If this happens, right? That was my entire tweet. My entire tweet, right, was if this happens, I'm gonna do this. That's all it was, right? If we come down here, I want to see this, right? And then I followed it up with, you know, we came in, we bounced, here's me farming that clout, and now we're coming into an area that we should be cautious, right? So everything went according to plan for now. So let's talk about where are we at in price currently and what do I think can happen next. If you don't have the 3-day chart, we also bounced off of this daily block here. So you can see we tagged the daily block there. So you don't need the 3-day chart. You could also take 3 candles, right? What makes a 3-day candle? 3 daily candles. That 3-day block is those 3 daily candles, right? So you can kind of do a makeshift 3-day block if you want. But I'm super rich, so I obviously have TradingView Premium. So looking at price now, we're coming into an interesting area here. We've got our daily candle shaping up as a potential swing failure pattern. So there's a good chance that if this closes how it looks in about 34 minutes, that we see a bit of a pullback. We've had effectively like a 20% move off the low with no pullback. So a pullback is completely reasonable. The question is, where can it pull back to? And where do we want to see it hold in order to, you know, assume that we're going to continue this up only? So we've had a move from 3-day demand to 3-day supply. We came just shy, but that's this is an area of resistance, and this to me is like, you know, the last bastion of hope for the bears. Like if we're able to get above here, right, even lower, I think if we start closing above 50, I think that's really bullish. But if we are able to get above here, I don't see how we don't go and test the high. Like that's the logical move for me. If we get above here, I think, you know, we long to here. But I would even venture to say that if we get above 50K, you know, pretty good chance we're going much higher. But yet to be seen. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. As you guys know, I trade level to level. So we're going to see how this daily candle closes here. It does look like it wants to close as a swing failure pattern. If that's the case, what do you think is the most obvious SR level for us to get a retest on the daily chart? To me, it seems like this. This seems to be the obvious retest level, right? That previous high, we broke through it. So this 45K area, 45,164.5, if you want to be precise, this seems like where the obvious retest is going to be and the obvious area that you want to see this hold, okay? And if I zoom in a little bit, right, what we can see here, right, we've already closed as a swing failure pattern here on the H4. So to me, this area here, okay, this is the SR flip that you want to see occur. We come back down here and we do not hold this area. I think we trade back down to here and it probably gets uglier, right? Think of this as a range. Pretend I'm Trader SZ. I'm going to smoke a cigarette here. I'm going to call you guys cunts and I'm going to talk with a cool British accent for a second. Think of this as ranges, okay? We have one trading range from here to here, okay? And then we have another trading range from here to here, okay? And then we have another trading range, you can't see it, but down to, you know, the low. Well, let's get the whole thing on the chart here. Okay, we have another trading range here. Okay, so we've got this, we've got this, we've got this one, okay, and we've got to here. So if I'm trader as Z, because I know you guys love as Z, right? We're now trading within this range. Give me my fucking thing. We're now in here. Okay? So if we fail within this range, ledges, okay, ledges, you listening, ledges? We trade into this range. And if we fail within this range, we're into this range, okay? So that's how I believe SZ would explain this, right? If we fail here, we're probably gonna trade to this range low, in my opinion. So the question you need to ask yourself is, okay, if we just regained this range here, okay, where do I want to be a bull? Near the bottom, okay? This is where I want to see this thing hold. I want to see this thing hold here if we're going to come up and then ultimately trade much higher, okay? So, all right, ledges, so that's the kind of setup I'm looking for here on Bitcoin. If we do indeed close this as an SFP and we get that pullback, that 45K area, that SR flip, that's where I want to see the bull step in to confirm that this is going to go higher. And again, you can pull your fib. And what do we have? Right within this range, right? Here's range 1. Well, halfway, there's your 50 again, right at that SR level, the 45K level. So to me, that's tons of confluence on where I want to be a bull, okay? So if we are able to get a pullback into that 45K area, that's where I want to see the bull step in, and that's where I want to see price hold for us to go higher. If we fail, okay, if we fail here, guess what? This becomes deviation, right? Back into here. This becomes a big old deviation back into here. So that's what we don't want, okay? That's what we don't want ideally. I'm not saying that it can't come back here and still go up, but I don't want to see us get back within this 40 to 45K range. I want us to stay above it, and I want us to get bullish, okay? Is everything copacetic? Is everything clear in terms of what I'm looking for, what I'm expecting on Bitcoin here, guys? Right? Hopefully that's straightforward. I think I made it pretty clear, okay? Back into here, we want to see the bull step in. This is where I'm looking to long next personally. Right? I would have shaved off some long exposure up here. If you're still in longs, this was your signal to probably shave some off. You can always buy back, right? But this is where I want to see the bull step in. 45K area. Let me know in the chat if we are making sense. Okay, sounds like everyone is on the same page. I'm not American. I'm literally wearing a hat with a fucking Canadian maple leaf on it. Okay, so everyone is clear. So let's say you want to play, and you guys know what I'm looking for here. Bullish market structure on the low time frame, right? That's how we get into the trade. Just like you look for the bullish market structure here, you want to see that kind of price action form within support. Okay? Now, how could you potentially get in a short if you wanted to? Back into here, because there's a trade to be made here, right? This is, a little 7-8% range here, okay? There's a trade to be made back into support if you want to, right? So first thing we got to do is determine what way is our high time frame market structure, okay? Now, if this H12 and this daily candle closes bearish, the market structure on the daily chart is technically still bearish for me. Now, it depends how you like to determine market structure, but this is the swing high that generated the swing low. So this is the high that I want to see get above to confirm that now the market structure is in fact bullish. Some people might look and say, okay, well, we actually made a low here. Here's a high, here's a higher low, here's a higher high. This to me is an intermediate term trend, but the higher time frame trend is still potentially down, right? Until this high gets breached. So all that I'm saying by that is if we're taking a short here, we're actually in line with that high time frame trend still because we failed to make a higher high. This is an SFP, not a higher high. And then if we hold here, this long relative to this trend, okay, is at this long that we might take here is actually counter trend until we're above here. And then your dips are now within the trend, okay? And I will do a video on market structure at some point. Okay, so how would you potentially get short? So first of all, a common thing that you see here after a breakout, we had this consolidation occur at resistance, right? We're in resistance here. When you see this kind of consolidation occur this close to a swing high, you often will see that high get run, right? And then potentially, something like this. This is kind of what we're looking for, right? Effectively this move. This is a very common pattern, and I'm sure you saw a lot of people draw this on Twitter. Once we had this move up, I bet you saw a lot of people with this exact chart be like, run this high and then pull back, right? Super common, liquidity grab, dump it, shake out the late longs, and then really send it. So how could we get involved in a short if we wanted to? The H4 is already closed as a SFP. And the H1 actually has already, the H12 is about to close as an SFP as well. And the market structure here is bearish. We're in the upper part of this range from this high to this low. We're in the upper extreme of the range, okay? So if I wanted to get short, personally, what I would be doing is waiting for this daily candle to close. If the daily candle closes as an SFP, you could literally enter a short on the candle close. Enter, let's assume it closes right here, and your stop goes here, okay, and your target is here. That's easily a 2-to-1. Or you can go on the low time frame, okay, and you can wait for what? The trend to shift. So let's assume it closes as an SFP. That is your risk, right? So if we now close below a key low here, okay, your entry becomes a pullback on a break-in market structure. Let me see if I can draw this a little better here. Let me just delete all of this. Okay. There's your risk. Okay. Once we break market structure to the downside, you could now enter on a low time frame. Like this is your high time frame risk. If we do something like this, you can now short this. Stop here, right? So what is, or short the underside of here, right? With your stop there, something like that. What going to the lower time frame allows you to do is zoom in, right? And find a potentially better risk reward setup, because on the lower time frame, there's a chance that you're going to be able to get potentially a better risk reward because your invalidation will be closer. If you're taking this trade based on the daily swing failure pattern, your stop has to be above that SFP high, right? But if you say, okay, if we break this low, I'm looking to sell the first pullback, now your stop could be here, right? At the high that generated the new low. Because you're saying, okay, the SFP says we're going down. I'm going to now step in on the low time frame. And this trade, right? Let's just do the math. Let's assume that the daily closes how it is right now. Let's see. And we're targeting 45, okay? That's trade 1. Trade 2, okay? Better risk reward. Why? Because we're entering on the lower time frame. Our invalidation is closer to our entry. So yes, our entry is actually worse technically in terms of what the price of it was, but your actual entry price doesn't matter. What your risk reward is what matters. If you get in a short at 48,230 and I don't enter until 47,700, but I get 4R and you get 3R, who took the better trade? I did, right? I made more money. So you can use the lower time frame to get in, dial in your entries, and I've gone over various different entry techniques, what you can look for and how you do them in past videos, in the order block video, in previous streams. So go watch those to your heart's desire if you want more explanation on that. But effectively, this is the kind of setup we're going to be looking for to get short on. Either the daily SFP closes and you enter as an SFP setup, or you go on the low time frame, you look for some sort of low time frame market structure shift to the downside, and you get in on a pullback, okay? That's how I would play this on the short side, and you can do this even on the lower time frame, right? Maybe you want to get in on the M15. Maybe the M15 does this, okay? Comes up to here and then breaks here. Okay, well now your entry is going to be even tighter, right? Because it's a lower time frame. Well, this actually might be wrong because I drew the swing going higher, but maybe this is your trade that you take. Right? Maybe you're getting in on the M15. Whatever the fuck you want to do to get in is up to you. What I'm doing is giving you the key levels where these setups can form. How you enter them and how you decide to actually trade it is completely up to you. Personally, if this closes as an SFP, I'm going to look at the 1 hour chart to flip bearish. If the 1 hour chart breaks market structure to the downside, I'm going to be hopping in a short, targeting here. Okay? Everyone copacetic, everyone on the same page. So I gave you a short scenario for here, trading into here, okay? And then we want to look for bullishness at this 45K area for continuation. I'll be looking to buy here for a move up. If we get below here, I would not be surprised if we trade back into the range lows here. So then obviously, you know, if we break down here, start putting in bearish market structure, you can look to short lower. Is this financial advice? No, this is not financial advice. All right, so is everyone good on BTC? I'm going to take a quick rip to the chat. I'll go through some questions, and then we'll get on to Ethereum. Okay. Can you please rag on BitBoy? I think the world rags on BitBoy enough. He's got thousands of pounds of weight that he has to carry around every day. Would it be smart to hedge right now? I don't know. That's up to you. We're into resistance. We're putting in a swing failure pattern. Will you check DYDX? It was weird yesterday. Felt like price was manipulated to accumulate. I already lost your question. Too many people are fucking messaging. I literally did a video on DYDX and I uploaded it like yesterday or the day before. Traders like you, XO, Ninja are so good to learn to trade. You could read 100 books, but your videos are much more valuable. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, bro. I've never read a trading book in my life, so. Okay, you're making much sense. We read that already. Will you check DYDX? By the way, it was weird yesterday. Felt like prices were manipulated to accumulate more, like when you mentioned it at 14. Maybe I'll look at it later. Fibs are money and like the levels. Cool. Okay, I thought it was a Ferrari cap. This is a guy who's never seen what the Ferrari logo looks like. No one knows the Jays. It's true, except for we're back-to-back World Series champs, 1992, 1993. Canada is in America. Canada is part of North America, is not in America. We're much nicer up here and the weather's worse. Referring to your latest video, what are your thoughts on DXY and BTC at the moment? I literally did a video on it yesterday. So if you want my latest thoughts, check out yesterday's video. Nothing has changed. The market's closed. It's literally closed. But it came into my level and it hit it. I made this post. I made this chart in July. July 7th I posted this. And there's the top. So expecting this, right, in line with Bitcoin dumping initially, remember, Bitcoin dumped. Now this is gonna probably open down, which will be reflected in the fact that Bitcoin has gone up. And now we're gonna have an interesting week, right? We're gonna have stock markets open, we have the traditional markets open, Bitcoin is pumped, right, and then dumped a little bit. So is there gonna be a CME gap that has to get filled? Are the markets gonna open up red? Are they gonna open up green? So many questions that will be answered so soon when the market opens. So it's gonna be exciting. I wonder if Mayne lives in an igloo and has a pet moose. Absolutely I do. All Canadians do. It's a rite of passage. What amount of your net worth is in spot? Is it a responsible amount? No amount of money in crypto is a responsible amount. Come on. Yo, how did you find ICT? Did you go through his entire video? I've watched every video ICT has pretty much ever put out up until like a year ago, because he does these weekly, updates for the mentorship. I just gave up after a while. But in terms of all of his content from the mentorship and free content, I've watched it all more than once. Man, the alpha this dude provides us is amazing. You're goddamn right it is, Devin. Everyone waiting for 45K, like people were waiting for 38K. Yeah, I mean, I hate that kind of talking, like everyone wants this, because like at the end of the day, everyone wanted to long 40K, right, when it got here, but who actually did, right? Everyone wanted to long 30K, and then it came to 30K, and then, who actually longed it, right? So I don't really love that whole, like, everyone speak. Yeah, maybe a bunch of people want to long here. Maybe it doesn't come down here. Shit happens, right? It doesn't always work out how you want it to work out. So if it decides that it wants to, maybe we SFP here, and then we just break up. Well, then guess what? I'll start looking for longs higher. SFP is swing failure pattern. XO has it there. A gooder entry. I'm really good at English too. Mayne, could that pump and fade today have created an SFP type structure on purpose in order to entice shorts, then squeeze them later? Sure. I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. If I knew the answers to those types of questions, I wouldn't be live streaming on YouTube. I'd be a billionaire sitting on a yacht somewhere. What the fuck just happened? Mayne, what is your favorite time frame and why is it the 30-second chart? I've tried trading the M1 and stuff like that before. I just can't do it. I'll go as low as the M15, sometimes the M5, but like the M1 and shit, I don't know. It's just like too fast for me. I like trading the hourly. That's probably my favorite entry time frame. How about them Blue Jays is right, making a push for the playoffs. I think they're going to fall a little bit short of the wild card, though. Do you discount weekend wicks like today when planning a trade going into the new week? Not necessarily. I wouldn't discount this wick just because it's the weekend. I still think it's relevant. Golden cross equals golden shower. No, it does not. Scenario if BTC rips up from here. If we're able to reclaim this high, right, I would still be cautious because this is resistance. But if we come up here and we just start consolidating, I'm going to be looking for reasons, right, to get long towards higher prices. Like if we're able to consolidate above this high, I would be looking for a consolidation pattern, and then I would be looking for a reason to get long within that consolidation if we get above this high. If you short here, would you take profit at 45 or wait for market structure to change back to bullish trigger? That's up to you. Personally, I want to get long here. So I would likely close most of my trade, if not all of it. And then rather than leaving a piece on the chance that we break down, is if we fail to put in bullish market structure, I'll just short again. But if you're unsure that this level holds, right, you could leave some of your short on, you could trail your stop, bring your stop to break even, leave a partial on, you could do whatever the hell you want. But personally, I would look to close any shorts into here and be looking for reasons to be bullish because I want prices to go higher. Yo, Mayne, do you let your winners ride indefinitely, aka moonbags? Can you go into quick detail about how you do it and where to take profits when tokens are in price discovery? That is way too many questions and way too complex of an answer to answer right now. Maybe I'll do a video on that in the future. I've actually done a stream way back in like 2018 where I go over exactly that. I can't remember the date. You could go dig and find it. It's from 2018, I'm pretty sure. Might be 2019, where I cover how to compound, how to trail stops, how to let your winners run, how to things like that. But trade management is a very deep topic. I think for most people, you're better off having a plan, sticking to the plan. If you're consistently closing trades early and they continue to run, find that out. How do you find these things out? By journaling, right? Okay, well, I always end up closing early and they run another 5%. Well, if that's something that's consistently happening, maybe your take profit levels are wrong. Maybe you need to reanalyze how you're doing that, or work on your trade management. Say, okay, at my take profit, I'm going to close 75%, stop to break even, and let 25% run. There's tons of stuff you can do around that. Yeah, again, that Vega, same question. Can you show an example of taking profits and adding a swing trades? It's all about market structure, right? If we're bullish here, right, and then we do this, if we come back up and make another higher high, right, why not trail your stop, re-add, and continue to play it like, you know, just play as long as the market is showing you that it wants to go higher, making bullish market structure. You can add on pullbacks. You can take profit at resistance, add back on pullbacks, trail your stop ups to significant swing lows. Maybe that's something I'll do a video on in the future if it seems like that's something a lot of people are asking. View, Cred, and SZ are the best traders on YouTube. Thank you so much. How long did it take you to become profitable? Like over 2 years? Maybe more. I mean, I definitely think I became profitable after 2 years, but I think part of that was also just being early in a bull market, right? And I started making money because everything was going up. But in terms of like consistently being able to pull money in the market up or down, it was definitely 2.5, maybe even 3 years. What do you mean closed? DXY is open. Is it? I guess it's open now. But it's not open on the weekend. It's not open on Saturday when I uploaded the video. Here you go. I just talked about this. This is it pulling back right now, right? My DXY entry was 2180. Thanks. You're welcome. Great entry. Okay. You can't deny ICT's material. It's just painfully slow. Yeah, he is like a rambler and he just loves to hear himself speak. It's very painful to go through his material. When using leverage, do you lose more than without leverage if the stop loss is triggered? Go read CryptoCred's Medium article on risk management. Okay, I suggest you do that before you even consider touching leverage. Yes, I do have an interview with ICT on my channel. No, I'm not a billionaire. Not yet. Gotta manifest that shit. Okay, I'm gonna get on to Ethereum now, guys. They just got on the wild card today, but I thought the Red Sox won. I thought we needed the Red Sox to lose. Yeah, they lost. They did not get in the wild card. The Red Sox won. We needed the Red Sox to lose. Okay, looking at Ethereum now. Ethereum. So, Ethereum played out pretty fucking clean in terms of, coming into support, right? 3 taps, moved up, and now we're back within this old trading range on Ethereum. So the difference for me here, right, is I was watching, or the difference, for me here on Ethereum is, I'm just gonna, hold on. Okay. So, Ethereum's bounced off this 12-hour order block here, right? We came down, right? We had our big pullback, we had our sell-off, right? This was the range we were watching. Right? Failed at the range high, boom, down below the range low, rejected, and now we're back within this range. So to me, this range is still relevant. And right now, this is just looking like a deviation. Okay. Below the range, we're now back in the range, right? So we deviated out of the high, traded below, we're back in. So Ethereum, similar to Bitcoin, is right into resistance here. Okay, and it's potentially putting in a 12-hour and daily, well, not actually a daily, but a 12-hour swing failure pattern, right? So this to me is a very similar kind of setup that we have to Bitcoin here, where we could see this close and pull back. So where is the level for Ethereum that we would want to be interested in bidding if Bitcoin's going to pull back to 45K? Let's speak hypothetically. Right back into this range low is where I'm interested in bidding Ethereum. So 3150 effectively. Okay. So if Bitcoin is going to pull back, this is where I'm interested in bidding Ethereum on an equivalent pullback, right? Because this is going to be, 7-8% drop. It's going to be about the same as Bitcoin dropping, maybe a little less, a little more, into that 45K region. So pretty straightforward analysis on Ethereum here. It's effectively the same as Bitcoin. We're into resistance after a very nice move up off the low. We're looking to buy back into this previous SR, which happens to be that old range low. So if we come back down here, I'm looking for reasons to be a bull on Ethereum for another leg up, okay? So where would be your initial entry? 3150. If we get a bullish reaction here, back above the EQ, that's your next area that you look for a long. If you didn't long here, you're looking to long at 33.50. Then obviously above the range high, right? That is exactly how I would play this thing. It'd be like a ICT sell model, right? Box 1, box 2, box 3, box 1, box 2, box 3, right? Sell off, consolidate, boom, consolidate. Maybe you get your dip there, up into here, and then boom, right? That's your market maker sell model for you ICT nerds, okay? So that is what I'd be looking for on Ethereum. Very similar to Bitcoin. If we close how we're closing, you could look for a low time frame short, right? Get below the mid-range here. There's your short into here, and now we're looking to be bullish at 31.50, bullish above there, bullish above here for higher prices. So we just had the daily close, and it closed as a swing failure pattern on Ethereum here on the H12. So what could we be looking for to short this thing? Technically, you could short this thing right now based on the SFP. Okay? You could short this thing right now based on the swing failure pattern. Same goes for Bitcoin. You could short this thing right now based on the SFP if you wanted to. Okay? Or wait for it to break this low, then get in on a pullback, stop here, target into here, and we're looking to long down here. And the exact same thing on Ethereum, right? You could short it now or wait for it to break down, then get short into here, okay? But from terms of, kind of market structure wise, we're both looking to long both Ethereum and Bitcoin on a higher low. We're looking to long Bitcoin around 45K. We're looking to long Ethereum around 3150. All right. So does anyone have any questions about Ethereum or about Bitcoin? Yeah, the Jays did not make the playoffs. I told you. Mayne brother, all we want to know are how many hoes we hitting on the H12. I don't even know what that means. You mean the 12-hour chart? I would love a video on managing a trade. I feel like it's the worst thing I do. I'll add that to my list. I have a few video ideas that I want to get through. Market structure being one of them. Trade management could be another video that I do a lesson on. What broker do you trade on? I trade on Bybit, the sponsor of this stream. Their logo is in the bottom left-hand corner here. They are my overlords. I love them so very much. All right, does anyone have any questions about Ethereum or Bitcoin? We've given you a short setup, and then we've given you a long setup. If Ethereum decides to just rip here above the range high, I'm just getting gig along on this thing towards way higher. Just like on Bitcoin, same plan, right? If it gets above that current swing high, I'm getting gig along. BTC 4-hour RSI seems to be rolling down. Okay, well that could be in line with us pulling back to 45K, right? Sizing into orders. Question mark. What do you mean by that? Weekly candle looks pretty bullish, I would say, right? On both of these. This looks like a really nice reaction. Obviously, this can still be a lower high, right? Let's not forget, we broke market structure here. Where would a lower high form? Here. So that's why we have to be careful. What we want to see, effectively, is this. Okay? But this could also just be a lower high that sends us lower. So you have to be careful. If this, right, then we expect this. If this breaks down here, then we expect, this. If this, then that. We're just making a plan for each scenario, and then we're putting our money where our mouth is, and we're letting it fucking ride, baby. Yes, the weekly closed 4 minutes ago. What gem NFTs are you looking at? I'm not very deep into the NFT world. I do have some NFTs. I own a Pudgy Penguin. I own a Bored Ape. I own a Sappy Seal. I just bought this G-Vol thing that is super cool. It's like a little cherub gangster looking guy that I like. Do you use log when using fibs? No, I do not. All right, does anyone have any questions about the BTC or Ethereum analysis that we just covered, or any questions in general before we start doing some altcoin requests? Do I have a Wazi? I did not get into the Loom Lock Wazis. I've had someone make me a Wazi, but I don't have a Loom Lock Wazi. He sent me the info to get an honorary one, but of course I procrastinated and forgot about it. Mayne, will you do another late night gaming stream? I absolutely want to get back to gaming. And doing like the AMA gaming streams. I have a lot of fun doing that. Probably will happen when I'm back from Dubai. Are you American? My hat literally has a Canadian flag on it, guys. This is a Blue Jay. This is the Canadian maple leaf over here. Here. Come on, guys. I say A. What would you suggest only trading with an account size of 5K? Can you still play Bitcoin? I mean, you can't buy an entire Bitcoin, but the size of your account, like there will be things that change as your account grows, but you do not need to. But if you can't grow a 5K account into 50K, what makes you think you can grow 500K into 5 mil, right? The things that you do are still the same. If you have a 5K account, okay, what is 1 to 5% of 5K? That is your risk per trade, right? If you're talking about leverage trading. Cred is in the building. It is a sad day for the Boruto fans out there. It's a very sad day. If you watch Boruto, you know what I'm talking about. No spoilers here. But yeah, it is a very, very sad day. Love your analysis, man. We'll look more into your content. Thank you. I would try and pronounce your name, but there's no way. Why is a lower high rather than a higher low? Any reason in particular you miss out on the consolidation time? Why is lower high? I don't understand your question. Do you play Apex? Not very well, but I do. When are you going to Dubai? I leave next week. So if you're going to be in Dubai, I'll be there for 2 weeks. The pale skin is a giveaway. Leave me alone, Sam Earth. That's not very nice. I'm working on it. I'm going to come back from Dubai either super tanned or super red. I'm not American. Do I sound American? Really? It's disappointing. Are you fighting cred in Dubai? I like to live, so I will not be fighting cred. Is Kakashi the same without his Sharingan? He's still the GOAT and the drip god. You guys need to come visit Canada, man. It's not so bad up here. Okay, so let's do some chart requests. So I am going to take. How is Diablo going? It's going amazing. Someone from Twitter helped me out and gave me some sick items, so I'm leveling up super fast. I just started Hell. I'm level 50. I'm pretty hyped on it. Okay, let's yes, I do know what Loomdart looks like. I've met him in person. Is Trudeau gonna let me leave and come back? He'll definitely let me leave. Coming back is another question. I might get locked in a hotel. We'll see. Okay. Let's do chart requests, guys. I'm going to take three chart requests. So everyone spam your chart requests right now, and I will pick 3 of them that I feel like charting, and we'll go from there. While we got over 400 people live with Twitch, over 500. Let's get some likes going, fellas. 250 likes. Let's go. I'm going to look at the stock market here. Look at this. Stock market Mayne. Stock market Mayne. So we talked about the stock market like 2 streams ago, right? First signs of weakness. Broke market structure to the downside. What is the order block that broke? So people are asking me, do order blocks work on other markets? Absolutely. This is the order block that broke market structure, right? Boom, boom. Pull back, ripped off of there. Where did it bottom? Right into weekly support. And I posted this on Twitter. I said, Stock Trader Mayne, right? There's your weekly bullish order block. Pink. So what we want to see on stonks, right, is we want to see a regain of this. Because if this rolls, right, makes a third drive, that's going to be Bitcoin going to 45K. However, if it gets above here, you know, that's what we want to see. But maybe, right, we get down 3 drives, deeper into that weekly order block, and then we get our big old rally. New all-time high, and Bitcoin new all-time high. That's the dream, folks. This guy says the Dow Jones is printing a Wyckoff distribution. So what is this? Is this your like, I'm not really a Wyckoffer, but is this your Lipsy or whatever? Your Spring? I don't know. I'm not really a Wyckoff guy, but potentially, right? This could be topping. We don't know, right? We don't know. No one fucking knows when this shit is going to end. Could this be it? Could this be the end of the run? I don't know. But yeah, if this thing nukes, right? Obviously, if this nukes below here, right? Crypto is fucked. Unless crypto decouples and becomes this safe haven asset out in a risk-off environment, which could happen. I don't fucking know. But if this happens, I'm leaning in the camp that crypto eats a dick as well. Okay, we've got a lot of people requesting a lot of things. So we are going to look at, let's actually real quick, as a bonus, we'll look at the charts from my last altcoin video. And would you look at that? So we did algo in the last altcoin video. And I talked about algo catching a bid right here, right? I wanted to see it hold this SR level. And as you can see, right, one touch, higher low, and we're moving away. So very nice move on algo. That's right in line with our analysis. See you later, XO. Thanks for tuning in, homie. Let's take a look at DYDX. We absolutely slapped the shit out of this one, right? Same as algo. I said, okay, I want to see this thing come into this area, this $21 area. And I want to see it get support. There's your low. There's your higher low, right? And rallying hard right from our level. So nailed this one as well. This is another one from the altcoin stream. We were trading up here, right? And I said, I want to see it come down here. There's your double bottom, your kind of W bottom. So that looks good. Tezos, we absolutely smacked the shit out of. So Low to a high. There's your breaker. And this thing is fucking absolutely ripped. I gave you guys this exact setup in that altcoin video. 60% move there. Very nice. So 3 for 3 on the altcoin video, man. Tray for tray. All right, so I'm going to quickly scroll through here and I'm going to randomly pick 3 coins. All right, first coin we're going to do is Solana. We're going to look at Luna, and we will look at Atom. Okay. All right, let's do it. Let's just quickly go back here. Right, so let's see. This plays out live from stream. I'm changing my name to, I don't know. I don't even know. Something. Okay, let's look at those 3 coins. Solana. Okay, so there's your break in market structure. I would say Solana is bullish, right? We did just print an SFP here. I would say that I'm probably looking to get in this on a dip to like here, 150 maybe. You know what I mean? Like this to me is like a nice rip, but I want to see it come back and test this consolidation here. We just SFP'd at the high, but we did make a higher high. So market structure to me is bullish on this thing. I'm gonna move this over so it's not as blinding. But yeah, if we get some sort of pullback, this would be your first area right here, right at this order block, right at the 50. Okay, to potentially catch a bid. But ideally, I would much rather long this thing at about 150. If it's up to me, what happens? Pull back, punish some late longs, and then launch it again. Okay? That is Solana. Right? SFP here. Let's see if it pulls back. First area of interest is 160. Second area of interest is 150. Those are going to be the 2 areas that I'm looking for bullishness. The uber bullish move, right, is the 382 pullback. That would be the uber bull. But if Bitcoin dumps to 45K, this thing probably dumps to 145 to 150, and you can get an even better entry, right? If Bitcoin dumps 7%, right, good chance Solana dumps 10, right? Maybe more, 15. That is the plan. SFP is swing failure pattern, guys. I talk about it all the fucking time. All right, we're looking at Luna. So Luna here, right? This is a swing failure pattern. When you have a swing high, right? When price runs above that high, but then closes below. That is an SFP, swing failure pattern. Okay? Luna, looking at this, gun to my head. Not sure why there would be a gun to my head, but if there were, I'm looking to get on this on a dip as well. I'm probably looking to get in this around here. 37 to 38 would be the first area that I'm looking to buy this thing. It might dip deeper depending on what Bitcoin and Ethereum do, okay? But this seems to be a pretty nice area. Somewhere in this sweet spot, 37, 38, down to like 35 maybe even. That's where I'd be looking to long this thing on a pullback, if given. All right? Adam. I mean, again, a lot of these are printing very similar setups. Ran the high, right? Where's the low? Here. Okay, again, very similar setup. I'm looking to buy this thing on a dip, if given. 36 down to 34 maybe. Right? Pull your fib, same thing. It's all giving, these are all very similar setups, right? Where they're looking like they're trying to shift market structure. So if we get the pullback, that's where I want to long these things. Confirmation is above 41, right? So pullback long is 34 to 36. Breakout long is above 41. Yes, I chart alt BTC pairs. I did 2 entire videos on FBTC and alt BTC pairs and why I think they're important and how you can chart them and how you can use them and all that fun stuff on my YouTube channel. Go check those out. They're under the altcoin series. All right, guys, that's all I got. 1 hour and 20. I think this was a good video. We covered Bitcoin and Ethereum. We gave you short setups. We gave you areas to look for longs. We covered some altcoins. We gave you areas to look for longs on those. We answered some questions from the chat. So hopefully you guys enjoy these videos and keep tuning in. I really enjoy doing them. Do me a big favor. Leave some likes, comments, subscribe to the channel, retweet the tweets. You know we're on a mission to take down BitBoy, and I need your guys' help to do it. We're at 21,000 subs on YouTube, so our next goal is 50K. So hopefully that comes soon. Thank you all so much. Love you guys. I will talk to you soon.